Oh, because it's in full screen. I got you. Oh, hello, my fellow risers, and um, welcome to the Pop Burrow. Damn it. That's kind of crazy, right? That it's doing that. I don't know why it's doing that. It's acting like I'm in Final Cut Pro still, except I am in Safari. All right, let's change the white. All right, so here's what we're doing. We are eating some egg. I only have a little bit, and then we're gonna go mow the lawn and take care of Uncle. I wanted to get a bit done. What happened here? Where is this? Did that. Right. So what? That's all done. And where is that opening? Ah, there it is. Uh, Designed for beginners to basic tasks easily. Let's check this out, bro. Did you have to pay for this one or something? Probably landscape. Okay. So I just want to do. Did that do something? Oh, white balance, auto. Oh, okay, that's doing something. Okay, auto's fine. Oh, the white balance is my problem. Alright, what's that? That's to log in. Alright, that's fine. Autofocus face, auto exposure face, HDR. No. Console, single close up. Alright, whatever, we're done with this. That's great. Good job. Okay, let's edit. I mean, that's, so actually we've got quite a thing to do here. So let's, put this screen up. No, not this. This. Let's put that on top. There we go. You know, had it almost. Come on. Okay. Wanna let me click on that, bro? I hate when it has done this before. Bop bop. And then it just keeps grabbing other shit, bro. Literally won't let me grab this. Let's see. Dang, bro. Okay, we're not gonna. It's so frustrating, bro. Not frustrating. Absolutely fine. Gotta take a bite. That's really nice. Alright, you back up, bro. You. You get out of here. Okay, you're not gonna just keep doing that. Properties. Um, window capture. Display capture. Okay. Right. What if I do this and then just like nothing's there? Okay. Lock. Unlock. It is crazy though. Oh, interesting. So now I can move both of them at the same time. How did I do that, bro? Ay, ay, ay. Disconnect. Alright, that's... It is what it is, bro. What if I just move this? No. Alright, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Okay. You know what? We gotta name these anyway. Alright, here we go. Let's name these, bro. Okay. So. Oh, this is really good. So, date modified. So, okay. dang. Wait, what was that? Huh. Confused. Oh, right. Okay. Okay, great. I gotta change that now. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Great. All right. So, oh, should we quit? That's so nice. Okay. I gotta open this, bro. Oh, gosh. So frustrating. You think I should just re-import? Nah, that would take too long. But then it's gonna have these names. Alright, re-import. How long will that take? Alright, let's just import these again. But without deleting the old ones. No, where's, hold on. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Boom, boom, reveal in Finder. Boom, now. Import, media. Finder. Here we go. What is this? Oh, I see. So, do that again. Okay, here we are. Damn, I didn't put a name on them yet. Oh. Add text after name. I can't wait for AI to just do all this shit for me. Remember when I thought I was gonna have to learn coding to get rid of all the, little menial, what am I trying to say? Trivial task. Alright, bye. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I gotta go to the toilet. Rename, replace text, GX with Stanford GX. Rename. Okay, great. Now, let's do this for real. I have to go to the toilet, actually. Do you guys want to watch where we're at so far while I go to the toilet? They do definitely have to go, actually. So now, I just have to select them individually. Okay. Isn't that crazy? Can you really not search in Final Cut import? I'm gonna look at that while I'm on the toilet. How is that possible? It's not true, bro. Got 380 gigabytes left. That's kind of crazy, though. That is crazy. Why are you doing that to me? Okay, well, fine. I'll just delete this stuff. Let me make sure. No. Oh. You are kidding me. I did not just do that. It is definitely not what I meant to do. Damn, that's crazy that I just did that. God damn, bro. Okay, let's try that again. Oh my god. That's absolutely fine. Zero worries, bro. Zero worries. So we need to put this in Celadorus Black. Rename it properly. 8 minutes. That's crazy that I just did that. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, now. So that's gonna take a little while. Alright, so what are we doing here? Okay, let's do the wedding ones. So, Los Angeles. Okay, so 2 at the wedding. So we have 4 interviews. That's great. That's excellent. Okay. Okay, so let's just edit this a bit, and maybe we can upload this one. And that would be a job well done. Alright, little Scotty will be fine. Hey. Alright, and the quality will be fine. Alright, that's very good. Alright, so what's your name? Alright, and the quality will be fine. Alright, that's very good. Alright, so what's your name? Alright, so what's your name?
Austin.
Austin, and where do you live or where are you from?
I'm from Houston, live in Los
Alright, so what's your name?
Austin.
Austin, and where do you live or where are you from?
I'm from Houston, live in Los Angeles.
Okay, very good. Alright, so here's my question. What is the brain?
The brain is an organ that manipulates, controls, drives the body.
Okay. Here's what I'm wondering. Keep thinking about people always talk to me about trimming the fat. But I don't know what fat is, bro. I have ADHD. I literally don't know what fat is. Like, is this fat? What is the brain? Not that part.
The brain is an organ.
What about this breathing here? No, that's important, right? What about that? What is the brain? Very good. All right, so here's my question. What is the brain?
The brain is an.
I have a question. Do I have meta from this?
Organ that manipulates, controls, drives the body.
Okay, very good. And these words that you spoke to me, where did those words come from?
They came from my mouth.
They came from your mouth. Okay, what about before that? What sent them to your mouth?
The brain probably sends a signal
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
Okay. And then what about the actual content, the language? Here's what I'm trying to get at. Did you come up with the words and then send them to your brain, which then sent them to the mouth?
I think the concept of you and.
Let me do a better job with this background noise, big bro. What if I say there's no line? How would that make you feel? What if I say that, like, did you come up with the words and then send them to your brain, which then sent them to the mouth?
I think the concept of.
I mean, you're still gonna hear stuff, and now it just makes our voice sound weird. Let's drop it down until she's 60. Did you come up with the words and then send them to your brain, which then sent them to the mouth?
I think the concept of you and the brain, like where's that line? It's hard to define.
What if I say there's no line? How would that make you feel? What if I say that, like, you're a brain?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
You wouldn't be opposed to it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so what if I told you that every time you think you're being rational, you're a brain?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
You wouldn't be opposed to it? So we'll use that time marker for his answer in the video description. Actually, that's just like at the 1 minute mark.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
That's what we'll do. Not opposed to, I don't know how to say it, to not distinguishing mind, brain. Well, I had to go to the toilet, I forgot about that.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
You wouldn't be opposed to it? Yeah. Okay, cool. And so what if I told you that every time you think you're being rational, that's a brain perception that's unreliable? Not great filming. But you know what is great is that my cousin said that my tattoo looks like a mushroom cloud. Which side is it on? Yeah, my tattoo looks like a mushroom cloud, which is kind of cool 'cause it's like, it's about ideas, right? It's like mind blown kind of thing can be added to it, right?
Yeah, it's inherently biased.
Okay, great. So bias is a great word. So bias can sometimes mean like influence. It can also refer to the little mechanisms by which we make decisions, by which we judge things. The little protocol.
Should I have where it was filmed? I got it. So we'll go Austin, United States. What do you say is from Houston? All of our interviews are going to be in the United States, and 90% of them, if not more, are going to be people who are from the United States. When we were in Europe, it made sense to go by country. Now, does it? What's the value of this information? I think it still makes sense to go by country. Okay, let's do this. Oh gosh, why is that not doing what I'm asking it to do? Alright, let's do it that way, like that. Alright, let's do it that way. Oops.
That the brain sort of follows to judge things. And it's not a perfect protocol. And so we have this concept of cognitive biases, these unreliable mechanisms that are used every day to make decisions and that are then believed in. Okay, so have you heard of any cognitive biases?
Probably. You can't think about any off the top of my head.
Okay, so if you were a...
So is that another timestamp? Can't think, because I asked a lot of people at Stanford about that.
Probably. You can't think about any.
0150 and can't think of any.
Probably. You can't think about any off the top of my head.
Okay, so if you were a robot and I told you that there are some bugs in your software, or that maybe your software was written for a different environment, and in your current environment, your software isn't as good, it's not as appropriate, and I said we've identified a couple hundred bugs, relatively speaking bugs, would you be interested in learning what those bugs are?
Yeah.
You would? Okay. So, that's the situation. We know how human minds fuck up on a daily basis and don't realize it.
Yeah.
So you think you're going to maybe check that out?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, good. So if I gave you something to Google, you'd Google it?
Yeah.
And then I can tell the world and tell myself that I got one more person who's taking responsibility for the fact that they're making mistakes every day. They're interpreting things incorrectly, not drastically, not dramatically. But sometimes it's important to know about these errors to do just a little bit better when it counts.
For sure.
Okay, all right, awesome, Austin.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's the interview. So I'm going to categorize you as self-aware because these are called self-awareness street interviews. And I'm finding out, do people think that they're souls in the ether hovering over these biological bodies? Or do they think that they are these biological bodies and so just as fallible and just as sort of imperfect as an evolved biological body would be? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, very cool. All right, really good talking to you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you.
I
unofficially love thinking about this. Like it's
Good.
never
Good. All right.
get it. Yeah.
All right. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. I unofficially love I unofficially
I think I'd just accidentally hit the record button here. But it's a good clip.
appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you.
I unofficially love thinking about this. Like it's
Good.
never
Good. All right. Oh boy. Okay. Can you just? What's the difference between the mind and the brain? Good. All right. Oh boy. Good. All right. Oh, good. All right. Oh boy. Okay.
Yo, let's do a little plug for court. Why is this audio no good at all? What does that do?
All right. Oh boy. Okay. Can you just? What's the difference between the mind and the brain?
The mind feels like the spirit is spiritual to me personally. I'm not going to give you like a dictionary definition.
Sure.
And the brain.
And then what should we do? Like we'll be like oh, and we should put Black America, right?
like it's
Good.
never
All right. Oh boy. Okay. Can you just?
never I love thinking about this. Like it's
Good.
never
All right. Oh boy. Okay. Can you just?
ever ever
All right. Oh boy. Okay.
love thinking about this. Like it's
Good.
never
All right. Oh boy. Okay. Can you just? Good. All right. Oh, good. All right. Oh boy. Okay. Can you just? What's the difference between the mind and the brain?
The mind feels like the spirit is spiritual to me personally. I'm not going to give you like a dictionary definition.
Sure.
And the brain is muscle, nerves.
Okay. Good. Good.
That's how I view.
Could they be the same thing
I think so in some contexts.
in some contexts? Okay. Very good. All right. Last thing. Could they be the same thing?
That's how I feel.
Could they be the same thing? Could they be the...
Nerds.
Okay, very good.
Muscle. Muscle. It's spiritual to me personally.
Brain is a muscle. Mind is spirit. But sometimes they're the same. O350.
It's spiritual to me personally. I'm not going to give you like a dictionary definition.
Sure.
And the brain is a muscle. Nerves.
Okay, very good.
That's how I feel.
Could they be the same thing?
I think so in some contexts.
In some contexts? Okay, very good. All right, last thing. Do you think you make mistakes like on a daily basis or yeah, weekly, monthly?
Daily.
Daily. Okay. Are you gonna maybe after this conversation tomorrow or something, I can give you something to look at to learn about some of these mistakes that we make every day?
Sure.
To learn about some of these mechanisms? Awesome.
I'm not mad at that.
All right.
Of course, she's probably talking about mistakes she catches or like, I don't know. But 04 Kurt willing to look into it. Yeah, right. None of these folks looking into
Learn
it.
about some of these mechanisms? Awesome.
I'm not.
To learn about some of these mistakes that we make every day?
Sure.
To learn about some of these mechanisms. I can give you something to look at to learn about some of these mistakes that we make every day?
Sure.
To learn about some of these mechanisms?
Sure.
To learn about some of these...
0427, I'll say.
Sure.
To learn about some of these mechanisms? Awesome.
I'm not mad at that.
All right, very good. Thank you, Courtney. Oh, what country are you from?
That's a tough question. I'm Black American.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. All right, I'm going to put myself on the other side of you. All right, there we go. All right, what's your name? Are you coming? All right, there we go. All right, there we go. All right, what's your name? Are you coming over? Very good. Excellent. All right, what's your name?
I'm Black American.
Very good. Excellent. All right, what's your name? Are you coming over? Yeah. All right, what's your name? Are you coming over? Okay, what are your names?
David.
And Esther.
Okay, nice to meet you, David and Esther. And which country are you from? 4 countries.
USA.
Very good. And what did I tell you before we started the interview?
You wanted to understand.
This is kind of funny. So here's what I had said. I wanted to see whether shit, I should have written it down. Whether people think of themselves as rational souls or biological brains. Maybe I said magical souls or biological brains. I'm not sure. We'll put that on the screen. Or it's just a basic title, bro. Oh.
Very good. And what did I?
David.
And Esther.
Okay, nice to meet you, David and Esther. And which country are you from? Or country?
USA.
Very good. And what did I tell you before we started the interview?
You wanted to understand whether we had a logical brain or more of a fallible, I guess, fluid brain.
Okay.
I don't know if I.
No, it's fallible souls or biological. No. Or fallible biological brain.
And what did I tell you before we started the interview?
You wanted to understand whether we had a logical brain or more of a fallible, I guess, fluid brain.
Okay.
I don't know if I use the right exact terms, but
Yeah, so fallible meaning imperfect, capable of error. So which one do you think you are then?
probably more rational in that, like, yeah, more.
Um, yeah, so fallible meaning imperfect, capable of error. So which one do you think you are then?
Probably more rational in that, like, yeah, try to think through things before making decisions.
Yeah.
And like the people are agreeing on it, you kind of.
They studied Homo economicus instead of Homo sapiens.
Believes that we are not rational.
Not just trusting your impressions, but as an illusion. And the only way you could even try to be rational, actually, not just trusting your impression time. And
Depending on how strong it is, I think there's that.
okay, very good. That's all for my question. All right, do you have any questions for me about anything about?
What is the purpose of this, and what do you get?
So basically, they did an experiment, or they tracked judges, and they saw that judges, there were these souls, and anyway, so free will, things like that, and all that stuff.
And I mean, I ended it because he was checked out. He was done. He was done about halfway through. She was probably also done, but because she's a woman, wanted to like be nice and be engaged and stuff. By the way, this was my best bud at the wedding, because you know my actual best bud was the groom, so I didn't spend any time with him, so I hung out with him a lot.
So that's one that's made it into the public. You may have heard are false. So one thing that the public knows about is memory, for instance. You probably heard that, oh,
Dang, audio is terrible. There were people right next to us, and I didn't pay any attention to that.
a lot of assumptions that we had about how reliable our mental mechanisms are false. So one thing that the public knows about is memory, for instance. You probably heard.
Oh, I haven't been writing down the timestamps. Alright, we gotta go to the toilet. Alright, it's already 10:30. We should actually pause there, huh? Well, he said he's right.
Had a logical brain or more of a fallible, I guess, fluid brain.
Okay.
I don't know if I use the right exact terms, but
Yeah, so fallible meaning imperfect, capable of error. So which one do you think you are then?
probably more
David is rational. That's good enough.
All right, here we go. So, what's your name? Publix. Very good. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you. All right.
Alright, let's
Which is really dumb. But that's because we don't realize your brains. You think there were these souls, and anyway, so free will, things like that. All that stuff's being undermined now, and so I'm trying to. All right, here we go. How that's going. What's your name? Think there were these souls, and anyway, so free will, things like that. All that stuff's being undermined now, and so I'm trying to see how that's going, basically, for the public. That's because we don't realize your brains. You think there were these souls, and anyway, so free will, things like that. All that stuff's being undermined now, and so I'm trying to see how that's going, basically, for the public. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. So, what's your name? Easy. The public. See how that's going, basically, for the public. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. So, what's your name?
Balaji Gupta.
Okay, very good. Realize.
we should just put all of this as LA, right? This doesn't need to say Malibu.
Right? Now we have this illusion that we're all rational, that just rational, no way what the food he has in his stomach would affect his brain performance, which is really dumb. But that's because we don't realize your brains. You think there were these souls, and anyway, so free will, things like that. All that stuff's being undermined now, and so I'm trying to see how that's going, basically, for the public. All right, here we go. So, what's your name?
Balaji Gupta.
Okay, very good. Realizing the music. Let's just back up a little bit over here. Oh, well, my glasses are recording.
Okay.
That's why I.
Hmm.
That's right. That's right. And the iron feels hot, right? Hot to the touch? Oh my goodness.
I don't know that hot.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, let me get out my little selfie stick. So you've been liking the event?
It was beautiful.
Amazing, huh?
I think
But it's even better because, you know, before...
The dog. I think it's better off.
What's your name?
Balaji Gupta.
Okay, very good. I'm realizing the music. Let's just back up a little bit over here.
Glassy, no glass.
No, we're not gonna use any of that.
Glassy, no glass.
Actually, you can hang off as well. That's why I still have them on. Better, but I feel a little more disconnected from the music.
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't know that that's much better, but I feel a little more disconnected. Okay, very good. Realizing the music. Let's just back up a little bit over here. Okay. I don't know that that's much better, but I feel a little more disconnected from the music.
No.
So here's what I typically ask people. What are you, most specific?
Oh, he's also got a real bow tie on, bro.
How I identify myself. Typically say I'm an ophthalmologist. That's
Very good. Like, are you, let me ask you this, are you this whole...
Okay, whatever. We talked a lot. And I found out that he was doing a lot of laughing. I wasn't
I
sure.
did some work on trying to make.
Oh my gosh. Audio. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do, bro?
Wash your hand, and they had all these different things. And finally,
Yeah. No, I mean...
Alright, well the music's gone. But now the voices sound really funny, huh? Okay.
psychology when you are something like a scientist, like it's all
We can't eliminate it, but when we are able...
we all are, and we know that there's hospital infections caused by it.
And all the doctors were refused.
And you want to always make it better.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
like they ossify.
Good morning. Something I realized today, thinking about that last interview, today's 2025 Akbar 26. I'll leave. Akbar, consciousness and ness can be fairly localized to the brain. I mean, fairly, like, justifiably. Alright, that's good enough, bro. What about biology? Bro, that's a good clip, isn't it? I'll let YouTube find a good one. I'm gonna screenshot that. It's a good thumbnail. That's good. Okay. Alright, that's enough. That's enough editing. Good. Okay. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me. Time to go.